I saw those videos on YouTube and it was good in real life. I saw those videos on YouTube and it was good in real life. This is the way to do it.
Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be about Elliot Page. Let me just say that I don't judge these people, these trans people. I feel like it actually, and I'm not just saying this because it's the corny thing, but I feel like it takes a bit of strength to live your best, truest life when it's not the norm or the standard. But I do understand mental illness, right? And sometimes this isn't about a person just wanting to live a way that they're comfortable with. Sometimes this is a situation to do with someone suffering severe mental abuse, right? It has nothing to do about them living their best life or anything like that. It's just almost like a destructive situation. So let me say that, right? Kind of like when that fat chick, what's that fat chick name? That fat Mexican looking chick. What's that chick's name? She was saying that, I think first she was saying that she's pansexual. Then she said that she was, they. God, what is that person's name? I gotta get it. What is that fucking fat person's name? I don't got nothing wrong with fat people too, but I just don't like that bitch. What is her name? All right, damn. I'll be back. Let me see what her name is. Okay, guys, I'm back. Yeah, I had to Google her name. Demi Lovato. Let me just say, that bitch is such bad luck that it took me like 4 minutes to fix my setup. Like a screw with like the stand that I'm using. It came out of place. So like, yeah, like she's so negative that like even invoking her name caused some sort of mishap for me. But what I was saying is that, like, sometimes, like, there's people that are, like, legit people that are just, like, everyday people that just feel comfortable. And it's kind of just, like, out of respect. Like, it's only, like, I guess decent. Like, unless it's for some religious reason, why you wouldn't call them, like, what they want to be called as far as, like, she or he or whatever. But then there's people like Sam Smith and Demi Lovato that have an actual mental issue to an extent. But then they know that they can manipulate people and try to control people. So then it just becomes a tool of control. And it's not really someone that's crying out for help. Now then, I'm having this reading because Elliot Page looks very miserable and sad. A lot of people are saying that possibly Elliot Page regrets the decision that Elliot Page made as far as transitioning. Yeah. So let me just see what's going on. Before I ask any specific questions, let me just look and see what's going on with Elliot Page. And let me just say, this whole trans situation is interesting because it actually has to do with like a form of like evolution, right? Like this is just a divergent evolution, the whole trans situation. So it's interesting to see how it plays out, right? There's been multiple stages of evolution in human existence, right? Stuff that, like people behind the scenes actually know. I won't even say science, because I was going to say science no, but science is just dogma to reinforce whatever the powers that be want to, like, have reinforced. But the truth is, like, the people know what we are and where we came from and stuff, and the different levels of like evolution that took place, right? So I'm seeing that this person, Elliot Page, is looking for a family. I don't know why it's telling me looking for a family. It's funny, you would think that this person's in a family, but I'm seeing looking for a family. But at the same time, dealing with betrayal. At the same time, still trying to desire a family. In Elliot Page's heart space, desiring a family. What's going on in the final space of the future? The final slot, I should say, of the future. All right. It's a conflict. It's a conflict going back and forth. Just trying to create the life that Elliot Page would like for Elliot Page's self. You know what I mean? Trying to make things happen. But at the same time, right? Trying to make things happen. But why is Elliot Page having some sort of feminine energy here? So let me ask directly. Is Elliot Page truly a man in spirit or a woman in spirit? And it's whatever card comes out. I ain't going to pull 4-card spread. It's whatever come out. Let's just see what it is. And then I'm going to call this person by whatever comes out. If it's a man, then it's going to be he. If it's a woman, it's going to be she. So let's see. Let's see. It's a woman dealing with pain. You see, I cut through the bullshit and cut through the smoke. This is a disturbed woman that's dealing with pain, guys. This is a disturbed woman that's dealing with pain. And yes, she is dealing with regret because of her decision. It is what it is. So this is very sad. So Ellen Page is going through a lot, guys. Ellen Page is going through a lot. What made Ellen Page sort of just botch herself? You know what I mean? Just do bad things. Mutilate herself. What's going on? What was the cause of it? She was dealing with pain and trauma that was stuck in her energy for a long time. That's just what it is with the hangman. They took advantage of her. She was dealing with pain since she was young. Stuck with guilt, shame, embarrassment. She was looking for a way out. What else can we see? What's going on with Ellen Page? What was going on with the boys? What was the boys doing? Did she not like the male gaze? Did it trigger something? Because I'm seeing that she was stuck. Boys triggered her. She didn't like the male gaze. And it's funny because if you look at the X-Men movie and things like that, people would say in the comment sections now, oh, she was so beautiful then. And then at the time, people were saying the guys was oh, she's cute, she's sexy, whatever. So it's funny that she didn't like the male gaze. She didn't like boys looking at her. She didn't like boys her age looking at her. She didn't like men looking at her. The fool. I mean, could she have regret what was going on? Regret it all. Regretting the fact that she didn't like the male gaze, the boy gaze. Regretting, I can't even speak because it's almost like a sad energy. She's speechless. She doesn't even know what to say. It's almost like she's dumbfounded. She's stunned. It's a lot of regret here. Something that was promised to her that didn't manifest how she thought it was going to manifest. The energy is just telling me it's true. She wanted this new beginning, but it's in reverse. It didn't happen. More shame, more embarrassment, more guilt. Now she's just deformed. She's been mutilated. She has to deal with the burden that she was already dealing with from whatever happened to her. And yeah, I mean, it's sad. Did Hollywood do anything? Is this Hollywood? Because I don't know how young she was when she started acting. Is this a situation of Hollywood? All right, what's going on? Money. Who got her involved in Hollywood? And the energy is just telling me it's true. I don't know her situation, but who's this woman? Because I know that everyone has a mother, not everyone has a father. You know what I mean? So it's just, I read tarot, I read the energies and stuff. I'm not God. You know what I mean? So it's just whatever I'm getting, whatever I'm seeing. I'm seeing a mother figure here that sold her out. What else can we see? Things happening behind the scenes, guys. Some sort of strict, perverted religion. People taking advantage of her. People trying to act like they were pure. but doing things. Look at that shit. Why does this grown man have this toy in his pocket? What was he trying to do? Was he trying to say, look, play with me? You know what I mean? Like, look, I'm safe. You know, like the whole joke that people like to say, like with people with a van and shit. Like, hello, I have candy. Do you want to pet my dog? Type of energy. Was he using this sort of doll to come at her? And you know, the Hierophant represents a big organization too, just so you know. Like legit, that's actually the definition of the Hierophant. The Hierophant can represent big organizations, institutions, among other things. All right, what else is going on here? What was Hollywood doing? Success. What was the trade-off? There was a trade-off, guys. There was a trade-off. Because the thing is, Elliot Page, or Ellen Page, didn't even get paid like that. I asked, what was the trade-off? And we have the Nine of Pentacles. The money wasn't even that big. Not just that, Ellen Page's happiness. So, I mean, this is sad. This is truly sad. What else can be seen? You know, this is unfortunate. You're just telling me it's true. It's very sad and unfortunate. Oh, damn. Well, let me just say, that's funny that it's like when this artwork comes out, it always like comes out now since I've been using like that thing. Let me just say, that's a piece of art. It's referencing this, or it is actually from this. When I got this deck years ago, the packaging, that was like, the packaging, like, was this. Like, you can't see it because the bottom half is covered up, but it's exactly this, right? I think it actually has a little bit more detail, or no, it's the same. I don't know. But it's kind of just like the same thing. So what I did was I cut the packaging, like I cut around like all the extra bullshit, whatever. It's like plastic. I don't even know if it looks like it, but like, yeah, it's like a plasticky type of material. You know what I mean? Almost like bubble wrap material. And I just cut it and I had it for years and I just never did anything with it. And then I seen it in the closet and I was just like, because I always wanted to do something with it because I always thought it was cool. And I really like this lady's deck. The deck is really cool. I would definitely say support her if you can. You know, the deck is definitely very affordable. It's called the Shuffle. It's called Shuffled World Tarot. It's a very cool deck. She drew all of this stuff and then turned it into a deck. So I feel like that's very creative and cool, right? Now this is dual energy. The moon, the sun. I'm seeing almost just like there was blessings with this, but then it was curses with it. It was illusions with it. It was hurdles with the mountains. It was injury. There was a lot of things going. A lack of power, too. You see like the handprint? Usually that's the handprint people make when they're, you know, being busted wide open against a wall. You know, that like your hands is against the wall and they just like, you know, doing the dirty to you, the nasty, whatever. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but it just is what it is. So it's kind of just like this Hollywood, this life, it's full of injuries, illusions, exaltations, but then not being exalted. It's tough. It's difficult. What else can we see? A split in personality. Ellen doesn't even know what's going on. She doesn't know how to deal with the trauma. She doesn't know how to deal with the abuse. She feels like a monster. She feels like she was cursed because she was a woman. And the interesting thing is, like, sometimes you see things like this, right? Sometimes you see, like, sorry, my hand was itchy. I was going to use the card to scratch it, but then I was just like, I don't know how that's going to look on camera. That'll probably look. So I just scratched it on my chin. But, yeah, I was going to say, like, sometimes women go through this, right? Where it's kind of just like, you know, people are looking for answers. People are looking for answers. When they go through pain, they look for answers, right? I know women that are in their 60s still looking for answers, still kind of blaming the fact that they were born a woman, right? I feel like sometimes people get caught in particular narratives and they just need to understand that they're just a person And a lot of times it's just a matter of circumstance. That it has nothing to do about you being a woman or being a male, because males can get raped. Males can go through things just as much as women, sometimes if not more. But I feel like sometimes we get caught up with like the dogmas and things of like people saying, oh, this is women's issue. This is the problem with trying to always create like separate identities and separating us. It takes away from the human experience. This is why people say stupid things like, if a tragedy happened, oh, the women and the children. So only the women and the children lives matter, right? Every life should technically matter, not just the women, not the children. I understand. Sorry, my nose itch now because it's telling me I'm really onto something. Sometimes I get like indications, like indicators that happens to me, and this is one of them. It's a lot of things happen, but I don't say anything. I just kind of just keep it to myself, like I was doing how I was scratching my hand and just was like talking and shit and trying to go through it. But sometimes if it's really strong, then my stomach make noises or I get an itch somewhere or just something happens. I know what it means for me. So yeah. So let me just say that, yeah, like it's kind of just like we need to stop separating ourselves. You know, I've had women come to me for readings and stuff. And they're just telling me, stop, I shouldn't get into it. But I'm going to get into it because I feel like a lot of women, they come to me with readings, and sometimes they trauma dump their hurt on me. And they say things like, okay, well, this is what's going on because I'm a woman, and you don't understand because you're a man. But the thing is that I have my moon in the first house. So what does that mean, having a moon in the first house? I know a lot about women, honestly, like a lot about women. And let me just say that, like, having a moon in the first house, it opens your eyes to a lot of different things since I was young. It is what it is, seeing the struggles of women and even having to deal with those vibrations myself. So it's kind of just like, I get it. But I think women, sometimes they get caught up in certain stuff where they feel like it's just happening to them because they're women. When they don't know that a man can be dealing with the same vibration, the same energy, it's just that he's a man, right? So it's kind of deep. So what I'm saying here is that people need to stop separating themselves. Stop trying to say that, like only like a kid life matter or a woman life matter. Meanwhile, okay, a man can like be blown up. No one needs to be hurt. No one needs to be harmed. Everyone needs to be happy. We need to stop this shit. We need to stop playing into the whole bullshit of like, oh, we're separate, we're different. We're people with a spirit, with a heart, with desires, with emotions. We all want to be happy. That's how we need to come to this. We need to stop trying to separate ourselves by saying stupid shit like I'm a woman or I'm a man or I'm black or I'm trans or I'm gay or I'm just like, all that is stupid. Honestly, I know it's going to offend people, but I think it shows a lack of intellect. Because it's kind of just like, if you experience life, you would know that everyone's going through some sort of pain or been through some sort of pain. And everyone deserves to be happy, unless you're a monster, then whatever. You know, unless you're a monster hurting people, then fuck you. But it's kind of just like, everyone deserves to be happy. It's not about being a woman. It's not about being a man. Now, I say all that to say, I see a woman that sort of just like sees the feminine part of herself, her feminine essence, as being a monster, as being an abomination, something she needs to guard, something she needs to hide. This is someone that feels like a man is free, a man has sort of like all this bullshit. But really, it's not the case, right? Not all men is out here raping bitches. Not all men is out here brutal. Some men are sensitive. Some men have compassion and deep empathy with their moon in the first house, right? But then it's kind of just like, having the moon in the first house, as a man, you attract a lot of hurt, disturbed women, you know? And it's kind of just like, you know, opens your eyes to things and shit. It just is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're all people with a soul. People need to stop focusing on the shell and need to just start focusing on sentience, right? Animals are sentient. Sentient beings need to be cared for. All sentient beings need compassion. But yeah, I see her seeing her, like the feminine essence of her. She feels like it's a monster and it needs to be guarded. She feels like men have some sort of freedom when it's not even the case. Look, She's trapped. The woman essence of herself is trapped. You see, I was telling you guys. Look at this shit. So it's kind of just like the woman essence of herself is trapped. She gave that part up. Now she regrets it. You know, it's kind of just like when dudes might be a little feminine and shit, and then they're like all stupid and shit. Then they want to be like, you know, they're not into anything feminine then because they know that they're feminine and they're trying to run away from it. And it's like they feel like people are judging them. So then they want to beat some gay person's ass or want to be all extra homophobic and shit. And it's just like, humans are just stupid. Humans need to calm the fuck down and relax. It's not that serious. You're not so special. Everyone goes through pain. Yeah, the pain is significant or special because it's your pain. But moving on from that, you can't be a narcissist and just feel like you're the only one, right? You have to triumph over the pain. And this is, you know, I know I might seem like direct and stuff, but I'm not going to talk about my business to nobody, right? Like, fuck all that shit. But yeah, like, you know, this is coming from someone that's experienced things being on this earth, right? So it's kind of just like she abandoned her womanhood. Now she regrets it. It's almost, energy's telling me it's true. It's like I'm like energy, like I miss it. She miss it. What else can we see? What else can we see? She's trying to make it work, guys. She's trying to make it work. She's trying to deal with her new identity. Can you get another card for this? Her trying to make it work. What is going on? She's not going to be happy. The Three of Cups sideways. She's not going to be happy. Because being a man has its restrictions. You know, that's why women need to stop saying stupid stuff. Like, oh, men are free. You know how many women tell me dumb shit like that in emails? That, oh, fucking men are free. Men can do this, and men rape, and men... Like, I even told certain women, like, I'm just tired of hearing it. You know, because it gets to a point where it's just like, oh, I keep hearing this, I keep hearing this, I keep hearing this. And it's kind of just like, you know, from different people. And it's just like, okay, I get it. But you guys are watching too much sort of just like a particular type of politics or some particular type of shit where it's just like, oh, men have all this freedom. No, men don't have that type of freedom. Men have to be stoic. Men have to be masculine. Men can't be free. Men have to be conservative in dress, right? Men have to be muted. If you think about it, being a woman is more freedom. You have more benefits. You can seduce people, right? You guys are the standards of beauty. You guys can, you know, influence people just by how you look. Men don't have that. A man has to either come from a family that's a family of, you know, something, you know, how do I say? Because sometimes I don't want to say things that's pretentious. A man has to come from a good family that has money if he doesn't have it himself because of working. So it's kind of just like a man's worth is usually just about the money, right? Meanwhile, it's kind of just like a woman. She can be beautiful. She can be intellectual. She can be free. She can be playful. She can express herself. And she's not having anyone like be like, oh, well, why are you into that? Is that like, you know, like masculine? Is that, you know, yeah, there's a certain standard. Like, oh, is this feminine enough? Or, yo, you're not being feminine and things like that. But it goes for both sides. But if anything, this is more, what looks more restricted to you? Honestly. These chicks just playing, having mimosas and shit, tequilas, chilling on the beach, or this guy being muted and shit. I mean, it's common sense, really, though. You know, it's like people don't appreciate what they have. They don't appreciate what they have. People want more. And this is the problem, too. This is like the story of like almost Cain and Abel and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not into that whole religion stuff, to be honest with you. But it's funny, though, that like that's one of the earlier stories with it, because it speaks of people, the human gaze, looking at another human situation. And instead of just elevating their own shit, they feel some sort of jealousy. Like, how come I don't have it? Like, it's sick. It's like, work with what you have. Otherwise, you're going to fucking chop off your boobs and shit, grow a mustache a beard that fucking itches and shit, and look like some fucking gray alien. that's confused, that doesn't know if it wants to be European or Asian and shit. AKA Elliot Page. Like, the fuck? Next slide. I know, I'm so intense, huh? I'm so intense. But I think I'd be on to something, right? Look, have I lied? Was anything I said a lie? People be saying that I'm too aggressive and stuff, but like, what do you guys want from me? Stop trying to fucking control me. I'm out of control. You can't control me. So, I mean, there's a blessing that's going to be coming up for Ellen Page. What's this blessing going to be? Oh, well, she might be returning back, guys. She might be returning back. She's going to be transformed, though. You know, it's like those, I forgot the name you call it, where they detransition. I've seen this, where a girl that's naturally like a woman, whatever, like or I guess, because I don't like saying female, but a female, I used to say it a lot, but I always thought about what this guy said. This guy said, like, what is a female? He was like, a female is a woman dog. He was like, you know, women ain't females. They're either women, and if they're young, like, you know, underage, whatever, then they're girls. And I was just like, that kind of stuck with me, because I was just like, well, he makes a good point. Right? And I can actually say that. You see, like, I'm not too hardcore. And I hate the guy, actually. This guy, I hate him. But it's funny that, like, that stuck with me, because if it makes sense, it makes sense. That's why I'm like, yeah, he has a point, though. Like, saying female does sound ugly. Like, what is that? These aren't animals. And not that I look down, because I love animals more than people, if you're going to be honest with you. If you want me to be honest. Like, yeah, I actually love animals way more than humans. You know, I feel like this part going to sound bad, but I feel like existence on this earth would be better if it was just for the animals. Humans need their own situations, because all they do is destroy and hurt. But it's funny, though, because I thought about that, and I was just like, yeah, he makes a good point. That, like, yeah, only dogs are, like, females, and, like, you know, that's how you describe animals, because you wouldn't call a woman animal or female, you know, you wouldn't call a female animal a woman, right? So it's kind of just like, yeah, he makes a good point. So, yeah, I was trying to say that, you know, like those women that detransition, if that's what you call it, like they were naturally women, right? But then they start taking the hormones to chop off they chop off their boobs. And then after that, they regret it. And so they try to return back to being a woman. And then they might not have the boobs, but they look masculine. Now they look like trannies or something. It's so interesting and deep, because it's like they were born women, but because of the hormones that they were taking, the testosterone and all that, now they have like chins, like they look like cross-dressers trying to be women, you know, for some of them. Like, they look really masculine. They don't look like they ever were women, right? And they even have like a deep voice, and they look like this. So what I'm seeing here is that she's going to find herself. She's going to learn to appreciate that feminine side. But the sun is still sad, though. This is very, 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 very deep. This is so powerful, because the sun is your solar energy, right? Your soul. It's like, it's who you are. She's still going to be sad, because you can't go back. You know, you can't, you know, I think she chopped off her boobs, you know. I don't know if she got I think it's called a phalloplasty or phyloplasty, whatever it's called, where you take the skin from your arm and turn it into a penis. It's so grotesque and fucked up and sad, and it's just like, it's not even functioning. So it's like, what's the point, honestly? You know, not to offend anyone that has that, but I mean, you know, but it's just sad, because it's just like, she's going to be in conflict, though, guys. She's still going to be in conflict. So it's like, yeah, she's going to be returning back to that femininity, even if she doesn't physically, like, I guess, display it. So she's going to appreciate that feminine side, but the damage has been done. That's why the soul is sad. Anything else? This is so sad. This is so deep. So sad and so deep. Yeah, I don't know. Just wishing she can go back. That's a big deal. Just wishing she could go back. She left that feminine side behind and chose the male side. It's just repeating. You know? Yeah, I mean, she just needed to heal. Sometimes people just need to heal, you know? People just need to heal. You know, I know easier said than done, But I'm just seeing that, like, she just needed to heal. Like, I mean, she needed to love herself. She needed to appreciate the flaws. She needed to have just understand whatever happened to her, whatever abuse, because even intuitively, I already know she was already dealing with mental illness, like even before Hollywood even touched her. It's just in her spirit. You could tell in her eyes, even when she was like beautiful, whatever. You could tell like she was hurting. She's just a wounded person, guys. She's just a wounded person. I mean, she's just, yeah, I mean, I want to get to these 2 decks because I haven't got to them. So I just want a reason to get to it. The reading's pretty much completed, but I just like how to. I'm just like, fuck, I didn't bring all these decks up for nothing, man. You know, but yeah, I don't want to give the game away, but I was talking too much. I mean, she's trying to make it work. She's trying to make it work. She's trying to make it work. She really wants to have sex. And I don't know if you heard the car horn honk when I said that. She really wants to have sex. So I don't know what's going on. And this is another thing with these women that be taking this testosterone and shit. Sometimes they want to have sex, but their body's so thrown off, or they have, unnatural surgeries that it's like, what can they do? Because I'm seeing that, like, she would have been happy just putting on a strap and busting it open for someone, busting someone open and shit, a woman, a man, whatever. Like, she would have been happy that way. Now it's kind of just like she has to find, happiness, petting animals and shit, but she's still sad in the face. Like, she's a young woman, This is like the time when either if she didn't want to have kids, she could have just been dealing with romance, dealing with the flush of youth, enjoying her flesh. It just is. Energy's just telling me it's true. Now it's kind of just like she's acting like she's an old bitch that's, dealing with menopause and shit, where your body shuts down, and that's natural. The body does that for a reason. Some people want to cling to certain things, like they want to cling to youth. And hey, if it works for you, it works for you. You see how the refrigerator turned on when I said that? If it works for you, it works for you, But for some women, it turns off for a reason, and some women accept it. They're kind of just like, okay, cool, it is what it is. But this is shit old bitches do. Pet cats and pet animals and shit. I'm not saying you can't be young and pet animals, but you guys get what I mean? It's kind of just like they look for their passions and happiness elsewhere. It isn't about enjoying meat, right? Because it's kind of just like... But I think it's fascinating. The lion is here, right? What does the lion represent? Leo, right? What does this card represent? Sex, passion. He's holding his dick, a phallic energy. But look what happened to the lion. The lion's been skinned. So she destroyed her soul. You see this, right? Look at this. Yeah, the soul was, going through things. Yeah, the soul was weak. It is what it is, right? This is a weak lion, a weak soul. Yes, she had a weak soul. But you see how this guy is showing his leg and shit? Like he's some Edwardian bitch trying to be sexy? You know how, like, back in those days, if you showed your fucking calves or your ankles and shit, that meant like you were a whore or you were trying to be intimate? Like I was saying, she wants to have sex. She wants to be fucking and shit. But it's like, how can she do it? Because her body's been destroyed. So what did she do? She aged herself prematurely. Now she's contemplating like an old-ass person. A young woman, a young male don't need to be contemplating about life. They need to be fucking and having fun. It just is what it is. It's only natural, right? This is shit old-ass people do. They contemplate shit. Because it's kind of just like, their time is done. So what I'm seeing here is now she's just contemplating life like an old-ass man and shit. Meanwhile, in her heart, in the position of the heart, she want to be fucking and shit. That's sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. The people that pushed all this shit, they truly need to be held accountable. You guys are monsters. You guys ruin already mentally sick people's lives with this shit. And then the stupid bitches too that feel like, well, I'm happy that I did it, right? Because there's a lot of gay dudes that became trans so they could get dick, whatever. And they just be like, oh, well, fuck what anyone else is going through. Fuck if the kids mutilate themselves as long as I have this right. That type of savage mentality is stupid. This is the problem when you're just selfish and you don't look out for other people. It destroys the world. And it causes a woman to have conflict with the Seven of Wands and shit. It causes her to have to put things to rest that she shouldn't have to put to rest because she's still young. Just sad. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong. I didn't say shit wrong about nothing. You know? I mean, what I'm seeing here is a problem. Is she, like, on pills to, like, numb herself? Like some sort of antidepressant? Is she drinking? What's going on? Because that's what I'm seeing here. This is just sad. What's the final card? All right. And then it's just like, she wants to get into work, but work isn't so good. She wants to get into work, but work isn't so good. She's going to be able to make things happen. And she's going to be happy, but... she's going to be happy. She's just... You know, because the energy I'm feeling is so painful that it's just like... How can I say this? Because I don't want to bring any bad fortune on me. It's kind of just like... It's kind of just like if you've been fighting a war for 80 years. So I'm just going to the most extreme, right? You were fighting a war for 80 years. And now it's kind of just like you might have 10 years of your life remaining. And you're going to try to find happiness, right? It's kind of just like, okay, yeah, it's great. Yeah, you're going to find happiness, I guess. But at the end of the day, your spirit is kind of broken. Her spirit is broken. She mutilated her soul. The sun. Leo's the sun. The lion represents your soul. She mutilated her soul. So it's just like, yeah, she might be happy. You know, yeah, she might be trying to establish some sort of family, something deep, something to give her meaning. That's what I'm seeing. Whether this be a cat, whether if this be a dog, whether if she finds someone that wants to be with her, you know what I mean? And they try to make something happen and work for themselves. You know, all the best to her. But what I'm seeing here is a broken soul. You know, a broken soul. This Emperor, tons of regret, looking back in the past. She's realizing that, yeah, she needs some money. Because I'm actually seeing she actually needs some money, guys. Like, no lie. So she needs some money. It ain't looking that good as far as money. But it's kind of just like she understands that the money isn't even everything, too. Hopefully this reading was insightful. It was so dark and so sad. So sad. You know what I mean? But I feel like hopefully if this heals one person, or if someone has a daughter or a son that want to mutilate themselves, you know, hopefully this makes them think about things or something. Or maybe even if a person, because I don't know if they're going through this, if they would even watch this to completion, because sometimes people just want to believe a lie, you know, and they don't like the truth because it's too serious for them. But hopefully it helps, you know, or it helps even if you're not going through this specific situation. Hopefully it just helps you with acceptance and just appreciating what you have, you know, because it's just like, you know, once you make certain alterations, you know, there's no going back. Peace and abundance, though. And take motherfucking care. And fuck you guys if you had an issue with what the fuck I was saying. Eat a dick, right? Fuck. Not being extra.